What's going on, gamers? What's going on, Star Wars lovers? And, exposers, right? And people who love seeing this garbage get exposed. Apparently, Ubisoft can handle their woke failure, Star Wars Outlaws, failing, and they want Steam to remove player count tracking to hide it. And they're probably going to want this for future games too. See, you only hide stuff when you're not getting the positive reception. But this is a very feminine approach to things. It's also very unprofessional and it's not masculine or manly at all. This industry is supposed to be filled with people who are professional and that want to grow and improve and can take hardships and know that you're not God and you're going to make mistakes, right? But it's different when you side with corruption, right? Like the DEI woke agendas, and you know what you're doing is wrong and it doesn't work and everything's all going to hell because that's the decision you made. So you have to honestly accept those results and adjust and try to do better. But in their world, if they could, they would censor everything, have nothing negative being shown. Kind of like how YouTube removes the down like, right? And you have to get some extension to see that. This is a way of putting people in this positive toxic mindset, and it's very bad because they don't have the capability of wanting to grow and accept the natural duality of the world. That there's going to be that spectrum and this spectrum, and that if I see this, I need to accept the whole thing honestly. Definitely, if I'm masculine, I would be able to do that. Accept the professional criticism because that's what developers should want, right? That's what the publisher should want to see how to do better and be in open, honest feedback with people instead of this trash right here, this corruption. So that's why we love this political shift that happened in the office. That's why we love things are going the way they're supposed to. Because if it was up to them and they had full control, none of these videos would exist. Trust me. That's how corrupt they are. So, and they would just wanted to see people and take their money and vampire off with them. But let's see what Smash has to say here. Always having good content. Cool guy. Like I said, I like him a lot. He's cool. And let's get into this.
As if you couldn't think Ubisoft could stoop any lower with how out of touch they are with actual gamers, they go and push it even further.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft, according to rumors, are now pressuring Steam to remove player count tracking after the historic Star Wars Outlaws flop. And they don't like people knowing that the game is doing poorly. They don't want YouTubers pointing and laughing at it because they are getting their feelings hurt. What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and huge shout out to Fandom Pulse for bringing this information to us. They have supposedly an insider that let them know that Ubisoft isn't liking how Steam database is showing off the current player count, and they want to get rid of that. Instead of having more transparency, they're trying to cover it up. They don't want you to know anything. They want to hide how pathetically bad their game sales are and just say, hey, consume the product, stop asking questions, and just be a slop addict.
Right? I mean, who does this, right? Who you trying to tell Steam what to do with their database because you fucked up and you're being garbage, right? Like, why is it that this company is doing stuff that where it's like, same thing with Sweet Baby Inc. and all this other stuff. It's like, can you be more pathetic?
Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full article breaking down how Ubisoft is now rumored to be getting in touch with Steam and not liking how the player count is being shown out there and trying to find a way to get that to stop.
Ubisoft was funny, man. Like he's got to laugh at this company this year. Like just laugh at them, y'all. It's the best thing to do. Don't let them get to you. They're like the villain of the year in the worst way this year. It's nothing but ridiculous stuff coming out of that company. Definitely with the Assassin's Creed stuff too, the disrespect to Japan. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Wild new rumored leak from an insider to Fandom Pulse exposes Ubisoft's dissatisfaction with Valve and Steam for displaying concurrent player counts on its platform. Currently, this kind of transparency is readily available to all through Steam's tracking tools for third-party websites like SteamDB,
Open,
and it's
honest
something that
feedback.
I, alongside many other YouTubers, often reference as a good barometer for how a game is doing out there, so we can have fun, find out what's going on on with the game industry, see what games are taking off out there, and which ones are complete and utter flops. The problem with all this? Well, it publicly embarrasses the performance of many of Ubisoft's titles specifically, and they don't like that. Their fifis are getting hurt, and we can't have that in the modern era of gaming. People aren't allowed to have their feelings hurt. Everyone deserves a participation trophy, because I guess if you just work at a game company, people should just accept what you do, pick up your slop, buy it, and stop complaining. Well, if Ubisoft had their way, that's probably what would happen here. According to The Insider, Ubisoft is now actively seeking to pressure Steam to discontinue its player count tracking. And they quoted The Insider stating, Ubisoft and other companies want to pressure Steam to stop the tracker from giving out info they want to keep to themselves. And you gotta ask yourself, what would be the reason for that? And the only answer is because they're embarrassed. When people see just how piss poor a game is performing, it creates a snowball effect and makes other people not want to pick up the game. It's the complete opposite of, say, a game like Game Science's Black Myth Wukong. When people see it selling gangbusters and everyone and their mother's picking this game up to play it and they're buying it in droves, other people are going to see it and be like, man, what am I missing out on? I want to participate in what's happening right now. That game looks awesome. Everyone's talking about it. I want to be a part of this. And then you get games from Ubisoft like Star Wars Outlaws where people are like, yeah, the game looks like trash. There's glitches, bugs everywhere. It's pushing DEI throughout the entire game. Why would I want to support this? And then you see nobody is supporting it. And you're like, yeah, that confirms my suspicions of it. I don't want anything to do with this game. Ubisoft wants to remove the ability for you to see what other people think and are playing for games on their own systems.
Pretty much. See, that's called a controlled narrative. That's called corruption. That's called hiding the truth in you. That's called I can't handle what I did, what I decided to do, and I don't want you to say anything about it. Just shut up and buy it. What does that sound like? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't think so. Get slammed in the ground and realize that you're going to have to get back in line and do better and get back to being a real gaming company or get bought out.
That's not very transparent of them. The Insider continues, they want to be able to present findings to investors so they can make it sound good. I don't know how you could ever in any galaxy look at Star Wars Outlaws and look at that and say, yeah, that's doing well from this perspective of, I guess it came out after the consoles and Ubisoft Plus, we have people playing it there, and don't worry about the numbers that are low there. It's all coming together. It's great. Everything's just great. Just keep giving us money because gamers are loving this. No one's complaining about it. There's no YouTube videos talking about it because, well, they can't see the information anymore. The Insider alleged that their efforts here are tied to the underwhelming, to be kind, sales figures of Star Wars Outlaws reportedly failing to reach 2 million copies sold, which is a massive shortfall for Ubisoft's own admission that AAA games require significant sales to recoup their costs. We're talking upwards of 4 to 5 million sales to just break even. And there was a fascinating interview for Mark Alexis Cote, where he is the executive producer for Assassin's Creed, and the video itself is being disliked much more than liked by the vast majority of people who have even watched this from a very small YouTube channel. But what he says here is fascinating. Not just talking about the numbers that are required to sell, but how he's still pushing the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion thing that is this religion over at Ubisoft that gamers do not believe in.
Only retards.
So it's diverse. It can be inclusive. We can tell different stories that will have a pull for different people in different parts of the world. And we're not stuck telling the same story over and over again with the same.
He's trying to justify DEI narratives, and it's not going to work. We can see through what he's saying.
Heroes.
He goes on to talk about how it's important to hit the mark of 10 million games being sold from a AAA title to start making a profit from it and substantial amount of money out of the game. And that's just for one single game. That's a big ask. It's a tall order. And it's something that Ubisoft is finding out doesn't come easily.
What I'm going to say applies to like mostly premium games, more traditional kind of AAA games. You have 10 games in any given year that will sell about 10 million copies, right? The reason I'm quoting the 10 million copies mark is from what I've seen and how I've seen our costs and the costs of competitors and everybody. I mean, but everything leaks in our industry,
right.
So you have like privileged information on where the competition is going, but mostly I estimate that 10 million copies, give or take 2 million copies, is probably what you need to break even.
When you put all this together, it paints a very dire picture for not just Star Wars Outlaws, but Assassin's Creed Shadows that got delayed until February 2025, and Ubisoft in general, if they can even make it that far, because they've gotten into too much debt. They've embraced DEI far too much with the company, and gamers are taking note of this, vehemently rejecting any Ubisoft coming out of the company. Yeah. And because of that, the games that seem to be coming down the pipe are not very anticipated anymore.
You have only 10 games that breach that every year. Out of those 10, you'll have probably 3 sports games. Yeah. You'll have 4 games on established franchises, and probably 2 or 3 games that are surprise hits coming from nowhere. But that leaves very, very little room and wiggle room for success.
The trend towards hiding weak performance metrics isn't unique to Ubisoft these days, though. Other major entertainment industries like streaming services and comics have adopted similar style of new age reporting practices, like Marvel and DC transitioned to different distribution methods to obscure retailer sales, and Netflix and even Disney define views differently using very confusing metrics like total stream time divided by runtime available, or even looking over at YouTube itself, removing the dislike button, not giving the actual viewer a full picture of what's transpiring.
It's a half a truth.
Well, they don't want people to have their feelings hurt. Really? Is that what we're doing? Removing transparency for your safety? My goodness, that sounds pretty familiar with a lot of the other things going in line with, we're doing this for your protection. And you always know to run the other way when you hear somebody say that. Also,
or I want to hide my tweets. They all have similar behaviors in this DEI or woke agenda world. You could just see it. It's nothing intelligent. It's nothing you want to be inspired by, and it's nothing you want to get in bed with. You stay the hell away from it. You don't support it. You expose it. And if you don't want to do that, just don't support it. Stay away from it. Say nothing. I guess you don't want to, and watch us do it. But the point is that you can see the similar patterns everywhere when you take a look at it. They're trying to use a word and a label, but behind it is nothing but corruption. That's the real problem.
So keep in mind that Star Wars Outlaws just recently came out and is already on sale for $30 off on Black Friday, okay? We're a couple months away from the release of the game, the official launch, and it's already on sale on Black Friday for $39.99. That should tell you all you need to know about how Ubisoft games always go on clearance right after they release. Why would any gamer wait in line to buy the game on day one?
Right. So the way I'm trying to steer the Assassin's Creed franchise through that. In previous years, our formula was like pick a setting, a world, a time, an interesting time and place, and build a game. And try to improve on the games that came before. And that was a winning formula for many years. I think players expect a lot more of us now, and they have so much. There's so much offer, right?
Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys want more information, check out smashjt.com for the full article. Again, huge shout out to Phantom Pulse for the tip-off on this.
Great video, Smash, as always. Love that guy. He's awesome. But, there you have it. And you should see some other things he says in that interview, like his devs think Assassin's Creed Shadows is trash and that it's not a good game, but they want it to be a good game. And it's like, why are you nuking your own game? It's just crazy, the stuff that's going on in that company. And like I said, you could just tell anything involved with that just never turns out well. Look at the track pattern. It's consistent. All right, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what y'all think. Peace out.